afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Turner, and teachers and parents.
There are several qualities that Susan has. I suppose from my point of view as a principal, one of the main things that I love about her is her enthusiasm and her passion. She has an unwavering energy for the position and the job. She loves learning herself, and she loves passing that learning on to children. And with that obvious enthusiasm and passion that she has for the job, the children can't help but be bound up in that and have that same enjoyment of learning. She still comes into the staff room with great enthusiasm and tells us and shares with us when she's had a success. And I think, you know, you can tell from that the heart is there, and her desire to do well by the children that she's got under her care has always been a very strong motivator for Susan. So I'll start with Wendy Fowler. 20 years ago I arrived at Leigh School to teach in the junior school. You already had an association with the school as a Leigh resident and a parent of 2 pupils. You could always be relied on to carry out anything that was asked of you willingly, volunteering for tasks. The same applied with your attitude towards developing your skills and participating in a professional development, with whatever you learned being included in the learning process. Your major legacy to Leigh School must be the organisation and management of the school library when it moved from the teacher aid room to the house of learning. Your devotion to keep the school hockey team going over the years was admirable. Your love of science developed interest in pupils that will stay with them forever. Many times I was told, I will miss Mrs. Gibbings, she'll know. Debbie Marshall has written, I loved my years at Leigh School and working with Susan was a great pleasure. Susan was always the steady hand on the tiller. You could rely on her in calm or storm. She never got flustered or lost her way, but was a steady presence, a calming and wise influence on the school. Martin Turner has written, Susan, I had the privilege of being the principal at Leigh School in the early 90s when you were first employed as a permanent teacher. Prior to that, you had been a very able and reliable reliever while bringing up your own family. Leading up to your appointment, the board, other staff and I knew that you were the right fit for the school. You had knowledge, especially in the area of science, and particularly your passion for geology and the environment. And that passion and content knowledge was something we all saw would be beneficial to our schools and students. And Gillian Irons, there comes a day when we know we're ready to finish the job of teaching, but we'll never finish the job of learning. I wish you all the very best for the next journey. I'm sure, Susan, you have many adventures in mind and time to enjoy your own interests and more without that nagging thought of the classroom. This is from April Everett, who was teaching here up until about 3 years ago. I first met Susan probably 30 odd years ago when we played hockey together for Omaha. Dressed in our green skirts, we were a team to kill. Me as a rookie to hockey and Susan as the master. Skillful, nimble and speedy, and a great team player. She taught me lots. When I met her again years later at Leigh School, she hadn't changed. Still skillful, nimble and speedy, and a great team member, not just in hockey, but in the game of teaching, and where once again she taught me lots. If anyone can get excited or enthusiastic about maths, Susan was the one. She'd always be leaping from her chair to tell us about the new maths program, and she excelled in getting everyone enthused about investigations in science. Even taking the staff around for a tramp around the Leigh rocks. You know a lot about rocks. Sorry, I do. Perhaps that's why she was such a solid rock on the staff here at Leigh. Thank you, Susan. I know Leigh School won't be the same without you, but I know too that you deserve a well-earned retirement. I did ask some past pupils to come back and just do a little recorder item, because what would be a farewell to Susan without acknowledging her teaching over the recorder? Bless her.
listening to the recorder players made me recall the endeavours of teaching 20 children simultaneously to play the recorder. It was probably the most challenging thing I did, and I have not done it the last 2 years because it just got a little bit beyond me, because having a recorder in your hand is very exciting, and they all want to make noise at the same time. So I had to develop a technique where we had our lesson, but you weren't actually allowed to blow the recorder. We just practiced it with our chin and with the fingers. It's been a pleasure for me to discover the talents in the children that I have taught. And some have been musical, and it's been exciting to see them go off to Maharenga College and take up an instrument and even go off to university. And those rocks that I brought out, I was so lucky. For my last term, I was allowed to bring out my boxes of rocks to teach the children about geology for one last time. Because children I've taught, one has gone to become a civil engineer, someone else has become an archaeologist, so that I've been honoured really to be able to find the talents that the children I have taught and set them on their paths. So that's the thing I will remember. So I'm going to miss lots of the things about teaching and Leigh School, but I'm also excited about the thoughts of doing new things. And not having to get up on Saturday mornings 2 terms a year. It has a certain lure now. After so many years, it has worn off the pleasure. You're always glad when you get there. It's just the getting there that's hard. Thank you all for the very kind words and the lovely songs, because I enjoy singing. When I'm in the class, though, often I do the singing because I'm feeling grumpy. And rather than growl at them, I sing at them in rather bad doggerel, but I don't know whether they realise that. So, thank you for all this lovely support from all these people.
How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I was doing, you were standing there by my side. And now you got me with me for the last time. It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.